Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Spark Creativity Teacher Podcast, a podcast for English teachers in search of creative teaching strategies. Whether you're new to this show or a longtime listener, I'm so glad you're here for today's edition of Highly Recommended. On this week's mini episode, I'm remembering the moment my 11th graders asked me to please add a book to our curriculum that wasn't so depressing. Maybe you've had a similar experience? Let's talk about what to do when the curriculum is full of death and despair. We were moving towards spring the year my juniors asked me why all of our books were so glum. My first instinct was to say, "They're not. What are you talking about?" Then I thought about it for a second. Adultery? Check. Death? Check. Despair? Check. We were reading The Scarlet Letter, As I Lay Dying, Death of a Salesman, and lots of other books that really don't scream the joy of being alive in a beautiful world full of possibilities. As I thought back over my own English classes through college and high school, I realized the same was true. Authors were so often grappling with the big, difficult human questions. Sure, there were moments of joy, of enlightenment. There was also a whole lot of pain. It got me thinking about how we might showcase more balance in the curriculum and why that might be important to helping our students thrive as readers and enjoy learning about life from authors. Have you thought about this too? Have your students brought it up too? These days, I think it's easier than ever to build more variety of theme into the curriculum because I see authors taking on issues that feel relevant to our students, and I also see some authors who are expressing something joyful or allowing an ending full of hope even after taking on difficult issues. I'm thinking of a book like Long Way Down that addresses painful truths but finishes with what feels like the breaking of a sad cycle and a reason to feel hopeful. I'm thinking of a graphic novel like The Dark Matter of Mona Starr that addresses depression and isolation, but then shows a path back towards joy. I'm thinking of a poem like Amanda Gorman's The Things We Carry that explores painful American history but also paves the way for a better future. As you choose your books for next year, I know there are so many things to think about. Genres, eras, key authors, key themes, what your students have loved in the past. But maybe, just maybe, in the back of your mind, you could also keep a little scale of hope and joy. For me as a reader, those things really matter. And years ago, my students taught me they matter to them too. I'm definitely not suggesting that you scratch all your books that deal with serious themes or that every ending has to be fairy tale. I just want to highly recommend that we make room for all kinds of stories, including those with happy endings. Have you been wondering how to get started with student podcasting? Would you like to get your students thriving inside this 21st century medium without feeling worried about tech issues and platform choices? I'm now opening the doors to my free summer workshop, Camp Creative. Over the course of 3 days, I'll give you everything you need to banish those fears over podcasting technology, platforms, and privacy issues, and start seeing your students thrive with creative podcasting projects instead. You'll get my favorite models and listening activities for helping students connect to podcasts before they create their own, done-for-you curriculum for launching your first project, and the easiest tools and platforms for recording and sharing student work in a safe way. Just as in Camp Creative's past, each day's training, packed with resources and tips, will arrive in your inbox, ready for you to explore when you have time. You'll find the link to sign up in the show notes over at nowsparkcreativity.com. I can't wait to work with you during this free summer session.